the one, the only, Ben Sion. Okay, good evening and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube, just Daf It. Today we're doing Nazir, Daf Nun Ches, number 58. Long day today. Went to Har Zaysim this morning. My father-in-law's kever, because during Nissan he passed away Yud Gimel Nissan, but the truth is that you're not allowed to go to the base like Kvaros, like one a lot of poskim during Nissan. So today's our Rosh Chodesh, or was our Rosh Chodesh. Went to the kever. Let's get started. The bottom of Nun Zayin on the base. The third to last line. Lema kavas kol rosh tanahi. Say the machlokas of whether shaving your entire head is that considered the isser of bal takifu, lo sakifu pas roshchem. About yesterday. Basically, most poskim say it's shaving off the corners of your head. What if you shave your entire head? Is that a machlokas? Is that a violation of the raisa? Lo sakifu. The Sana Rabbana, we have two brises. Rosho, it says Rosho. By Metzora, when he ends his Mitzaras, you cut all the hair off his body. Right? And then it says all the hair, and then it starts saying what types of hair. The hair on your head, the hair of your beard. Obviously, if all the hair is included, obviously the hair on your head and hair of beard. Talks about the armpits and things like that. So, why does it say all these words? Rosho, Matam Lomar. We know in general in the Torah. You're not let it round off the corners of your head. You think when you complete saras also, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. Tamalo Rosha. Therefore it says Rosho. Rosha to tell me that you're allowed to. Tani, the Chediv Raisa says Rosho. Nazir. By a Nazir, it says Tarli overall Rosho. He's not allowed to shave his head. Nazir. Let's say you're a Nazir and you get saras while you're a Nazir. We talked about this before. So you are allowed to proceed and become purified from the tzaras, even when you're a Nazir. Talmud Rosha, that's why it says Rosha, to tell you that even by a Nazir you're allowed to. My love, Tanayu, isn't this machlogas Tanayu? L'man damar min Nazir, the one who uses the pasuk, Rosha, talk about a Nazir. Generally, when you shave your entire head, which a Mitzorah does, that's not a violation. Therefore, it's used by a Nazir. It's obviously not used by a regular Mitzorah, because that's not a violation of Doraisa. It has to be teaching something on a level of Doraisa. Therefore, it comes to teach by a Nazir, or a Nazir has an essay and a losa say. Losa say, Tarlo Yavral Rosh, you don't know how to cut his hair. And Kadosh Gadol Parasar Rosho. It also has to, and his essay to grow his hair long. So therefore, it teaches you violate those. Obviously, when you cut a Nazir's hair off, right, you're violating both essay and the losa say. The Mitzorah is allowed to. The other bias really holds when you shave your head, a Mitzorah that's a violation of the. And therefore, for the simplicity's sake, it's talking about a regular Mitzorah, which it probably is, tell you that a regular Mitzorah is allowed to violate the lav of Lo Sakiv Bas Roshka. Rava rejects it. Really, everyone who holds shaving your entire head is not a kafa, so it can't be used for a regular Mitzorah. The pasuk's talking about Rosho is talking in a case where you first rounded off the corners of your head, and then you give an undercut, let's say, and then you shave the top part of your head, right? Since if you would, right, shave the entire head at one time, right, you didn't first do the sides and then do the top, you wouldn't be chayiv. Therefore, you're also not mechayev. And the Tana that says we're talking about a regular Mitzorah is to tell you that chiddush. That taking off the corners of your head and then proceeding to shave the head is like one action, basically. This is the way I'm explaining it. This is one action, and it's the same thing as Hakavah Kol Rosh, Lo Shma Hakavah. That's teach you. That's also called Hakavah Kol Rosh, Lo Shma Hakavah. That's what Rosh teaches you. The only Yisr, Lo Sakiv Bas Rosh, is when you take off the corners and you leave the top. But if you took it off first and then shaved the top of the head, it wouldn't be a problem. The Gemara says, "Miksav krahachi." Could you possibly say, "I'm Reish Lakish. Go makom shetam motzi essay v'lo say." Reish Lakish should learn from somewhere. If you have an essay, v'lo say, you want to yachal l'kayim eshnei amutav. If you can keep, right, do the mitzvah's essay and also keep the mitzvah's lo say, it's good. If you can't do both of them, there has to be one of them has to either not do the mitzvah or do the mitzvah and violate the los asay, yavo asay v'yischad losa. We have the famous klal esay docha los asay, right? So what exactly is Reish Lakish asking over here? According to the art scroll, the Rosh explains that the Gemara is really asking over here that we just mentioned that if you shave first the corners of your head and then you shave the top, right? It's the same thing with shaving your head at one time. But that shouldn't be, because if Reish Lakish says if there's a way to Mekayim Esay and Losa, you should have to shave your entire head at the same time and not shave the payos and then the top, right? That's the Gemara's question. I'll explain Iyad Ben Tzvi in a little different way that I learned the Gemara over here. I think it makes a little more sense. I'm explaining according to the art scroll, explains the Gemara, according to the Rosh. Ella, so the Gemara relents. The Chuli al Makavas Kol Rosh Makav. Really, everyone holds shaving your entire head at one time is a violation. Let's say Bas Rosh. Amad the Mokim la Kral the Midchi Losa say ve'essay. Then we can understand the one who says the pasuk is talking about a Nazir, because even though an essay docha Losa, the Reish Lakish says, how do you know essay docha Losa ve'essay, which is true by a Nazir? That's why the pasuk is leading by Nazir. Mind the Mokim la Kral the Midchi Losa say ve'essay, and that's why one Tana says Rosho is going to teach you by a Nazir, and the other Tana held that a regular mitzvah, right? Hakavos called a Rosh, yeah, but Esei Dochalos, that was the source of Esei Dochalos. So one uses it as the source. Rosho is teaching me the source Esei Dochalos, and the other one is teaching me Esei Dochalos ve'esei by a Nazir. Uman demokim le'lekral mitchilos ve'esei lav greda minali. Where does he know Esei Dochalos in the Torah? Yalef Megdilim, the beginning of Masechet Yevamos, says there are Gedilim. The Amar Kral lo silva shatnez. You shouldn't wear shatnez. Tanya Ida, Tanya lo silva shatnez. You shouldn't wear a combination of wool and linen. Ha Gedilim tasalach mehem. However, the fact that the next pasuk talks about tzitzis, that by tzitzis it's waived when you're doing the mitzvah of tzitzis, you can violate shatnez. Man de nafkalei mirosho. The one who learns from Rosho, my time will nafkalei mikdilim. He learns the Esei Dochalos from Rosho. Right, it's talking about regular mitzorah, that a mitzorah could violate los hakiva bas roshkam. Why did he learn from Gedilim? The Rava, he says Gedilim is something else. Rava is teaching with the Asa. The Rava Rami Ksiv, and also tzitzis kanaf, tzitzis hakanaf. It says you show that tzitzis on the corner with the extra hay. Why the extra hay? Min kanaf psil tchelas. Right, hay is the tzitzis have to be the same as the corner, the beged, the garment that is coming from. Psil tchelas. That's what the strength should be. The different pasuk says that you could have a mixture, right? That's what it's telling you. That the beged can be made of wool and the tzitzis out of linen, and even though they're tied together, it's not a violation of shatnez, right? So you can use a beged that's not the same as the strings, or vice versa. The beged could be pishtim and the strings could be wool. Yachdav. Yeah, the Hakei says. So how do you resolve this contradiction? One place seems to say the strings have to be the same material as the garment itself. The other pasuk says there can be two different things. If you have a garment of wool or linen, then you can put any type of strings over there. Shar minin, let's say you make it out of mesh or something like that, or silk or something like that. But minan potion, minan in potion. If the beged is made out of silk, the strings also have to be made out of silk. So that's how you resolve that. That's why Gedila was needed, not to teach me Esei Dochalos. Vaytana, the Mapik Rosho Lav Greda, the Tana that learns Rosho, right, is to teach me the Esei Dochalos. Dasi Esei V'Dachalos. Dasi Esei V'Dachalos Esei Minalan. How do you know? Like by a Nazir, for example, that an essay could possibly Dochalos Esei in certain instances in the Torah. Right, Nafkalemi Zikno, you learn it out from the Zikno. By a Masorah, it says Rosho. It says you shave all the hair. Then it says his head. The Zikno is beard. Why say beard? It's an extra word. The Sanya writes Zikno Matamalon. It says you're not allowed to shave your beard, right? Yachal af Kohen Masorah. And you might think if you're a Kohen, this pasuk has to be by a Kohen. There's two psukim that are not allowed to shave your beard with a razor. One is by Kohanim, one is by Yisrael. This pasuk is quoted by Kohanim. So you might think a Kohen or a Metzorah also can. He's a Metzorah. He's going to shave his beard also at the end of his saras. He also couldn't do it. Talmud Lomar Zikno. Yes, he can do it. Right? And by a Kohen, it's actually a lav. He's violated the mitzvah's essay of shaving the Metzorah is doka the lav of Fazgam Lilechu. Also it says Kedoshim, that in general, Kohanim have to be Kedoshim. So Kohanim is an essay and a loza essay. And presumably we learn just like by a Kohen, an essay is also by a Nazir also. The one who learns for Rosho, for essay and Alosa say, learn from Zikno, right? One Tana learned it out that Rosho teaches me essay Dochalosa. One to teach me essay Dochalosa essay. Why do you learn it? If you learn it from Rosho, why don't you learn it from Zikno? Utamaya, where I asked back, the Kaimalan Ba'alma, Delo, top of Nunchan Beis. Delo asked the essay of Vidake Alos's essay. Right? Normally we say, as opposed to a Nazir who's a Mitzorah who's a Nazir, a Mitzorah is a Kohen, normally an essay is not Dochalosa essay. Leilith mi Kohen, the Dach. You should learn from Kohen, right? That it is Doch. Elam Kohen lo Yalfina. You can't learn from Kohen. That's the answer. Malak Kohen shekain lav shein shav v'kol. You can't learn from a Kohen to elsewhere because a Kohen is unique because he has mitzvos that other people don't have, right? Other people don't have. So Nazir Kohen nami lo le'alef shekain lav shein shav v'kol. So therefore, the reason you need Zikno and Rosho is one is for a Kohen and one is for a Nazir, because I wouldn't learn Nazir from a Kohen. Because a Kohen is a lav sheino shav b'kol. A Nazir could apply technically to anyone can become a Nazir. A Kohen, not anyone can become a Nazir. Not anyone can become a Kohen. According to the opinion that says Rosho is to teach me essay dochalosai, that Rosho is talking about a Nazir and essay is dochalosai essay. Lamali is Zikno. Why do you need Zikno? Same question the other way. Right. Here you can't say one for a Kohen for a Nazir because you can learn a Kohen from a Nazir. A Kohen is more stringent than a Nazir, but a Nazir is less stringent than a Kohen. So if you learn by Nazir, learn to Kohen also. Why do you need two psukim? Need it for this. Zikno. Why is there a Zikno by a Mitzorah? It says by a Kohen, he shouldn't shave his beard. Yachalaf Kohen Mitzorah can. You might think also if the Kohen the Mitzorah, he also shouldn't shave his beard. It's a Zikno. That's why it says Zikno. So the Chiddush is not that we just said. The Chiddush is for this. How do you know that when a Mitzorah shaves his beard or shaves his head, it's with a razor? The concluding process by a Mitzorah is exclusively done with a razor. How do you know? The Tanya, right? It says by a Kohen, you shouldn't shave your beard. You might think if you trimmed it with scissors, it should be chayav. It says by Israel, the same Isser, you shouldn't destroy. Right? Cutting with scissors, not destroying. If it was just destroying, you might think also, right? If you took it with a malaket for hitting, these different types of planes, different types of blades, or I'd like to say a lift and cut malaket to grab and hitting is rotating blade. You might think you're also chayav. That's why it says giluach. It has to be giluach. It has to be the normal way to shave. Normally people shave with a razor. They don't shave with an arelko. So therefore, even if it's lift and cut, is that tar? So therefore, based on the accommodation of both of these psukim, we learned it has to be hashchasa by Yisrael and also giluach by a kohen. And therefore, we know that the only thing is a tar. The only violation is a tar. And the fact that it's zikno, why is it zikno by Mitzorah who's a Kohen? To tell you that even though, right, to teach you what? That it has to be done with a razor, right? Because that's where the problem is using a razor. Razor is a problem of zikno, of shaving your beard. And that's why it says zikno, to teach me, it has to be done with a razor, and nonetheless, don't worry, even though it's a razor, right? Since it has to be done with a razor, so therefore it's doka, the essay and losa say, of a Kohen shaving his beard with a razor. But that's the Chiddush. The Chiddush is to learn that it's exclusive. The Mitzorah, in general, he has to shave himself with a razor and not anything else. According to the one who says that Rosho, right, is talking about a regular Mitzorah. Essay Dochalose. Lama the Michta of Rosho, Lama the Michta of Zikno. Why say Rosho and Zikno? You don't need both. Mashmi lemidchi lav grade, mashmi lemidchi lo save essay, right? Hilkach shchol hu v'yavo shneim. It says Rosha, so we're saying it's talking about a regular Mitzorah, but technically it could also be talking about a Mitzorah who's a Kohen, right? It doesn't tell you who. So it could either be telling you Esei Dochalosei, or it's talking even a Kohen, Esei Dochalosei Esei. And since we can't figure out which one it is, so we have to learn both of them from it. So what do you need what do you need Zikno for? So the answer is Kohen and Nazir Yalev Shekain Yesh No B'Sheila. You can't learn one from the other. Kohen and Nazir. The extra pasuk is for the Nazir, right? You can't learn Kohen and Nazir Shekain Yesh No B'Sheila. A Nazir, right, has certain leniency that you could retract your Naziris. You can take a Naziris, you can go to a Chacham and matter your Naziris. Nazir B'Kohen L'Yalev Shekain Lav She'eno Shaveh B'Kol. A Nazir can learn from a Kohen because a Kohen has a certain uniqueness that it's Eno Shaveh B'Kol. It's not, right? Kohen has certain halachas that don't apply to everybody else. So therefore, the Zikna is to teach me, obviously, the Rosha is to teach me both by a Kohen and by a regular Mitzorah. And then the second pasuk is Nazir. You can't learn Nazir from Kohen, like the Gemara just said. Why don't you learn from Kohen and Nazir to elsewhere? You can't learn because both Nazir and Kohen have their uniqueness. Kohen, Nazir has, you can be Matir and Nazir, and a Kohen has uniqueness that it's not Shaveh B'Kol. I'm a Rav. Make a lot of them call Gufa B'Tar. This is starting to talk about cross-dressing, not cross-dressing, shaving, a man shaving different parts of his body besides his head and his beard, right? What about shaving your armpits or shaving your crotch? I'm a Rav. Make a lot of them call Gufa B'Tar. Rav says he's allowed to do that, even with a razor. Mesiveh, where it says it's not an isser of lo silbash gever simlas isha. There's an isser to dress like a woman. A man can't dress like a woman. He also can't do things that only a woman would do. Mesiveh, hamaver beis hashach beis ha'erva. Okay, the Brisa says though, if a man would shave his armpits or shave his crotch, he gets malchus. So the Gemara says, "How b'tar ben sarayim?" You get malchus if you do it with a razor. But with scissors, no problem. Rav Nami B'Tar. Rav says you're allowed to do it with a razor. Make a lot of them call B'Tar with a Rav. He said with a razor. Ke'ein tar. He didn't mean to say actually with a razor. He means to cut it very close with scissors, or let's say a trimmer, right? That's not going to completely uproot it like a razor. A razor you get malchus. He says, Rabbi Yochanan says, if you take off, a man takes off hair from his armpit or his crotch, he incurs malchus. Right? How could you get malchus? Malchus is for d'oraisa. It's only the rabbanon if you do it. My loka, now the karam the rabbanon. When you say loka, you get malchus the rabbanon. The concept the rabbanon impose malchus certain times to strengthen what they said, and that's only the rabbanon. So that's their rabbanon, and presumably, like we said before, it's only talking about using a razor. But if you use something which is cuts very close to the skin, even if it cuts like a trimmer, then it would be even mutter, like Rav said. We'll talk more about this discussion about and shaving your armpits, saving pubic hair tomorrow. Stay tuned for Iyad Ben Sion, where we discuss a different reading of the Gemara in Yonchet and Aleph to help you understand a little bit this history of Lo Sakifu Pas Roshchem. Iyad Ben Sion coming up next.